morning. She's just working on the board. So.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get started then. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Wednesday, October 5th regular board meeting. We moved it to Wednesday this week because tomorrow night is our homecoming parade and our annual Powder Puff football game. And we'll talk about that a little more in a minute. So, Mr. Philo, could you call roll, please?
Mr. Browning.
Here.
Mr. McCourt.
Here.
Ms. Landon.
Here.
Mrs. Malad.
Here.
Mr. Steininger.
Here.
We stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Ms. Landon.
Yay.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. Also, could I get a motion to approve the minutes of the Thursday, September 1st regular board meeting?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Ms. Landon.
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is board reports and good of the order. Wendy, we could start with you.
Sure. So just so everybody knows, Trunk or Treat at Fairborn Primary School will be sponsored by the FCS Student Ambassadors. It will be held on October 25th from 5 to 7 in the bus parking lot at Fairborn Primary School. So if everybody would like to participate, anybody can decorate your car, bring candy, and dress up to support the event for the young kids, the Skyhawks in our community. Also, I'd like to say it was an honor to be a part of the Fairborn Intermediate School ribbon cutting ceremony. First kind of event for me, so it was absolutely wonderful. The school is beautiful, and thank you again to the Fairborn community for making this happen for our kids.
Okay, Tim?
I'd like to thank our hometown Kroger, our high school Leo's Club, and the Ambassadors Club for their support of the Fairborn Fish Pantry annual Football for Food drive. The support for our Fairborn community and other organizations collect hundreds of pounds of food for people in our community. And we just want to say a thank you. The weight will be revealed at the Fairborn Stebbins High School football game, and that's a big contest, so we'll see who wins. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, not for me.
Katie?
Yes, all right. The Goodwill Drive to Victory will be the week of October 10th through 13th. Fairborn City Schools are in a competition with Northmont to see who can collect the most donations. On Friday morning of the 14th, the truck will be weighed, and the winner will be announced later Friday evening. We definitely want to win that $1,000 scholarship for a Fairborn senior this spring. Let the house cleaning begin. Donations may include clothing, shoes, toys, household items, housewares, jewelry, medical equipment, books, furniture, small working appliances, computers, electronics, cars, boats, and trucks. There will be an attendant on hand each day from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for donations. For the car donation, please call 228-AUTO, and we will receive a 1,000-pound bonus. And we have had several car donations in the past that have helped to put us over the edge. So we appreciate anything you can do in that regard. And one more shout out I'd like to say for the marching band, who we have some members here tonight for a recognition. They had their first competition the last Saturday of September down in Lebanon, and won Best Auxiliary, which is our guard, our marching, our color guard. Best Percussion, as well as Grand Champions for Class A and AA. So if you haven't gotten a chance to see them yet, and their show is not quite complete, so the best parts are yet to come, they will be in Mason on Saturday, October 15th, and we hope to unveil everything at that show. So if you can make it to come see them, they would certainly appreciate your support.
Okay, Pat?
Okay, we'd like to thank the Fairborn Fire Department for your visits to our elementary classrooms, teaching our youngest Skyhawks about fire safety and about the job as a firefighter. Once again, the 17th Annual FIS Pumpkin Auction, sponsored by the FIS Student Council, is back in person. The auction will be held on October 18th for classrooms in the A Hall and the 25th for classrooms in the B Hall, in the cafeteria. Also, viewing will start at 6 o'clock, and the auction will begin at 6:30. Pumpkin pie, hot apple cider, popcorn, and water will be available for purchase. I would also like to just invite everybody to swing out by Dayton Yellow Springs Road and seeing Phase 3 starting at our Fairborn primary building. The people out there are wasting no time getting that building down and hauling it away. Please note that Phase 3 will be more parking and more green space up at the Fairborn primary. Also, I would follow up from Wendy and say the ribbon cutting was a great day at the Fairborn Intermediate. Betsy's here. Hi, Betsy. She does a great job down there along with her staff and administrative group, and it was just great, and we heard plenty of positive comments about not only that school, but the primary and the high school, which is going great guns. And finally, ladies, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so please go out and get your exam and be safe, and we want to keep you around for many months after. Thank you so much.
Okay, I mentioned earlier, tomorrow's the homecoming parade and the Powder Puff game. The parade's at 6 o'clock tomorrow, right down Main Street to Baker, and it's pretty neat to see. And the Powder Puff game, if people haven't seen it, it's very enjoyable. And then this week has been Spirit Week, and I think Monday was Pajama Day, if I'm right. So if you saw kids all wearing pajamas, that's why. And each day has a theme, and it's cool to watch the kids, dress up and support the teams. And then Friday night is our homecoming football game against Sydney at 7 o'clock at Memorial Stadium. So if everybody could come out and support our football team, that would be awesome, and we're going to win this homecoming game. And just echoing what Pat said, looking at the buildings, the work going on at the primary and the intermediate being open now, and then, the progress on the high school. I actually was gone for 3 weeks visiting my grandmother down in Texas, and so coming back and seeing that much change in just a 3-week time frame was really, really neat. So, okay, with that, why don't we move to recognition of visitors or comments?
Mr. President, I don't have any sign-ups for public comments.
Okay. Mr. Lawley, school district presentations? And
Thank
there's
you.
some good ones in here.
We have a number of students that will be recognized tonight, so bear with us. This is the reason why we're here in education, and that's to do the best we can to make sure students succeed. And academically and extracurricular-wise, we have a number of students that have been very successful. And as I said, we want to make sure we recognize those students. So beginning with the tennis team, and a big congratulations goes out to the girls varsity tennis team on winning their division in the MVL. And the team managers and coaching staff are as follows. So I
Can you
think
come up, please?
on up.
Come on up.
Congratulations, pal.
That's okay. Thank you.
the members,
Walking Jerry and I both.
the members that you see here are Lindsay Botkin, Sophia Bowling, Sophia Bridges, Taylor Green, Layla Grossnickel, Riley Hensley, Isabella Japs, Lola Lomax, Melissa Martin, Alexandria Meyering, Corina Shiley, Miley Smith, Michaela Stamball, Elizabeth Van Cleve, Emily Witt, and the managers, Alina Lomax, Nathan Smith, and the coaches, head coach John Steck, assistant coach Jim Lewis, and assistant coach Dimitri Furman. Congratulations on your hard work.
All right.
All right.
I think we'll gather for a picture, if we could probably make a couple rows.
Hey, while we're gathering, can Miley and Riley step out front? These two ladies qualified for districts. They might be the first female tennis players to qualify for districts since the 70s. Now, a couple rows, like you said before. Yeah, get on your knees, one more. I don't know, no, that might be too low. I was giving you the best, I was giving you the best view.
Right.
We need to squeeze in
If you
more?
can't see us, we can't see you, so we can't see you. Emily. Emily. Ready?
Awesome.
Congratulations. Great job, ladies, guys. Great job. Okay, the next group that we'd like to recognize is our Fairborn High School Marching Band and Color Guard. They had an incredible day. Come on up.
All five of you?
Hey, that works.
Yes.
10%.
You guys look bigger on Friday night.
Yeah.
They had an incredible day of competition recently at the MSBA that took place at Lebanon. They won Best Auxiliary, Best Percussion, Best Overall Visual, First Place Class AA, and Grand Champions. What didn't you win? Huh? Wow.
Overall, yeah.
I think you,
Overall,
was that a
yeah.
clean
There were
sweep?
2 categories
Almost,
they did
yeah.
not, yeah,
Okay.
Our
almost.
friends in green and got us on a few, but that's okay.
Hey,
We like green.
that's right, yeah. Well,
Keep it in
the
account.
marching band and color guard are under the direction of John Coretta and Katie Welch. And I do not have a list of the names, but if will go better if you that are here, if you would introduce yourself.
In your section, tell us what
Yes.
you like to.
My name is Logan and I play the baritone.
I'm Alicia and I'm in the color guard. I'm Corey and I'm drum major.
I'm Danny and I'm captain of the color guard. I'm Will and I play tuba.
I'm Miss Welch and I'm the assistant band director.
Great.
Again, congratulations. So let's get together for a picture.
That's right. Let's go.
If you stick around after the football game on Friday night, we are going to do our first and second movement, like Miss Malad mentioned, and then we're actually going to put on a very rough sketch of our third movement. If you want to check that out, but if you want to see a really complete project, come check us out at Mason too. Oh yeah, that's fine. All right, well, I'm gonna put my arm right here so you'll get the picture. Ready? Thank you guys. Happy homecoming.
Kick you over, Katie. Whoop. Musical chairs.
Okay, next we have PBIS recognition. Here to do this will be Assistant Superintendent Amy Gayhart.
Bags open.
Good evening. Tonight I have the privilege of recognizing
Yep.
Today's our favorite fan or sport team today. Yeah, we couldn't do togas at the primary.
No togas. Yeah.
Next up, the report for our district report card, Dr. Brackenhoff.
Mr. Lawley, with your permission, we'll do some student recognitions first.
Oh, yeah.
Is the mic
Yep.
on?
It is, but this mic is not.
Hello, hello.
I think it was afterwards, yeah.
So the first student recognition we'd like to do tonight is really special because it's been a while since we've been back to normal, or the new normal, as we like to say. And we have a group of students that we're recognizing who, in the spring of 22 this year, on their achievement test, they scored a perfect score, or the highest possible score. And to give you a frame of reference, this is really impressive because only 11 students in our district achieved that highest possible score out of 5,757 tests that were taken. So we are really proud tonight to recognize some students from every building. So I'm going to start with our fourth grade students, and when I call your name, if you will come up and remain standing, and we'll have all of you up here. First, we have Layla Campbell, and Layla was in Mrs. Cornwell's room last year, and she scored a highest possible score on the ELA fourth grade test with a score of 846.
Wonderful.
Woo. Just stand right here. We're going to get you some company. And joining Layla with an impressive score of 846, we have Macy Weiss from Mrs. Shank's room when she was a fourth grader. And joining Layla and Macy in fourth grade math, and the highest possible score in math was 835, we have Bristol DeWitt from Mrs. Shank's room. And to add to Macy's stellar ELA performance, she also scored an 835, highest possible score on fourth grade math, Macy Weiss.
Wow.
Right there. Macy? I thought she...
Yeah, she's already up there.
Yes. You get two. In fifth grade in ELA, we have Leah Snow, who scored a perfect 848.
Woo.
And Leela was... Leah was in Mrs. Spiegel's class last year, and Mrs. Spiegel is here tonight to recognize her too. In fifth grade math, a perfect score of 804, we have Eric Johnston, who was in Mrs. Stevens' class. In sixth grade math, with a perfect score of 790, we have Serenity Johnson, who was in Mr. Free's class. Jumping to the high school in biology with a perfect score of 823, we have Jevon DeWitt, who was in Mr. Thompson's class. And a perfect score of 800 in American history, William Sledge, who was in Mr. Riffle's class.
Go, Will.
Okay. Those are our students that we would like to recognize tonight. And while we are getting a picture, I'd also like to recognize their parents. Layla's parents are here, Ashley Purser and Dwight Campbell. Macy's parents, Jolene and Jeremy Weiss. Bristol's parents, Melissa and Matthew DeWitt. Leah's parents, Leanne Snow and Stuart Snow. Eric's parents, Heidi and Mark Johnson. Serenity's parents, Shanda and Brandon Lytle. And Jevon's parents, Kelly and Jeffrey DeWitt. Bill Williams' parents, Patrick and Samantha Sledge. So congratulations to the parents as well as to the students.
What about recognizing Mandy?
I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Screw up. Mess somebody. Get a name and at least we'll announce it.
Right.
Yeah. Can we get a picture with Levi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm on it.
We're getting a picture. Yep, okay. Levi gets his own picture.
Yep.
We don't want him to do that.
Levi, I'm going to let you hold this one, just don't show the name. And our apologies to Levi Johnson, 6th grade.
Nope. That's his sister's.
Oh, that's his
That's his
sister.
sister.
Yeah, you can take that. Is that his sister's?
Serenity.
That's not Serenity.
That's not Serenity?
This
No.
is Serenity.
Don't mess it up.
All right, if you want to leave, you can, as most of you already have.
We do have a teacher to recognize.
teacher to
Yeah,
recognize.
so don't
recognize
leave
the
yet,
teacher.
please.
Are you going to do her next?
Yes, I am.
Next, we would like to recognize Mandy Taylor as a STEM ambassador.
Mandy. She's back there talking.
So a
Mandy.
little background. She is
That's
perfectly
completely
fine.
classic.
Tonight, we'd like to recognize Amanda Taylor, Fairborn High School STEM teacher, who has been selected as the DoD STEM Ambassador. She has been selected through a rigorous process, including a nationwide pool of applicants. The Defense STEM Education Consortium is a collaborative partnership between academia, industry, not-for-profit organizations, and governments that aim to broaden STEM literacy and develop a diverse and agile workforce with the technical excellence to defend our nation. By addressing and prioritizing critical STEM challenges, the Department of Defense is investing in evidence-based approaches to inspire and develop the nation's science and technology workforce. Educators who are recognized with the DoD STEM Ambassador Award will partner to advance STEM outreach through the 22-23 school year. As members of this prestigious cohort, DoD STEM ambassadors will collaborate to create and curate resources to support STEM educators across the nation in implementing high-quality STEM learning for all students. Mandy will be working closely with a select collaborative team of leaders from Sinclair, Central State University, the Department of Defense Education Consortium, and other ambassadors throughout the nation to engage and support minority and military-connected students in the Dayton area, as well as to build program supports for all interested students to move from FHS to STEM college and career programs. Congratulations to Mandy Taylor for representing Fairborn City Schools as a STEM ambassador.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for all the support. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll do my best. I promise. I know you will. Okay. I'll let y'all know.
Now, Dr. Brackenhoff will give us a update on our district report card.
Okay. I'm going to do this from my laptop. Let's hope that this all works so I don't have to walk across and get my hard copy. All right. So recently, the Ohio Department of Education released district report cards to districts all across the state. And so I'm going to give you a brief overview of that this evening. A little quote from our interim superintendent of public instruction: the more we understand the needs of students through the Ohio School Report Card results and other data, the better we can personalize education, focus instruction, and tailor enrichment programs to accelerate and enhance learning. So our report cards are a snapshot of what we're doing, but it also serves as a roadmap of where we want to go or where we need to go. So this year, the new district report card has a different format than in previous years. It's seen various iterations over the years. This year, there are 5 components that are measured, and next year they will add another component, but we're going to talk about the 5 components that were measured for this year. And remember, this is the 2022 report card, which reflects school data from last school year, 21-22. So the 5 component measures allow for a maximum of 5 stars in each of those measures. Fairborn City Schools earned a total of 17 of 25 stars, which ranked us 298 out of 607 districts across the state. So right there in the middle of other districts. The components that we were measured on, the first is achievement. And this component recognizes whether students, their performance on state tests, so whether they scored at a proficient level, above proficiency, or below proficiency. And overall, our district scored 3 stars in that, meaning that we meet state standards in academic achievement. Now, we know that we have some opportunities for improving that, but considering the last few years of interrupted learning, we feel that that is a good score to start with. The next measure is our progress measure, and this looks closely at the growth of our students and how they are making growth based on their past performances. This in the past has been called value added, with the goal of achieving at least 1 year of growth from all of our students, and then any students that possibly are behind their grade level, achieving more than 1 year of growth. And as you can see, our district scored 4 stars, which gives significant evidence that the district exceeded student growth expectation. So we got more than 1 year's worth of growth for most of our students. The next major component of the district report card is called gap closing. And this looks at different subgroups and the gaps or differences between those subgroups. And in this particular measure, we scored 5 stars, the highest possible, which means we significantly exceed the state standards in closing the gap. So we want all of our students to perform at a high level, and the different subgroups that are measured, we want them to equally be at that high level, and we're making great progress in that area. The fourth component is our graduation component. And this measures both 4-year and 5-year graduation rates, and it's adjusted cohort graduates. So we scored 3 stars in this, which means we meet the state standard for graduation, and we had 91% of our students graduate in 4 years, and 88.8% of our students graduate in 5. The fifth measure, and the final one that was reported on this report card, is early literacy. And this looks at how successful our schools are in improving reading of at-risk students in grades K through 3. Since we're a grade level district, part of that comes from our primary building, the K2, and then the 3rd grade has the 3rd grade reading guarantee. And we scored 2 stars in that, meaning that we need support to meet the standards in early literacy. As we go into that information a little later, I'll be able to explain a little bit better how this represents our current 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders. It's past learning. So it looked at learning during the 2021 school year. And it's a multi-year growth looking at how they perform in the fall, like kindergarten, how they perform in fall to fall of 1st grade, fall of 1st to fall of 2nd, fall of 2nd to fall of 3rd, and then fall of 3rd to spring of 3rd grade. So it's a complex measure, but again, it's where we are putting, I think, our most emphasis in trying to bridge that gap. Our 3rd grade proficiency rate was at 51.7%, and our promotion rate was at 100%. Last year, the state did away with the consequences of the 3rd grade reading guarantee, and so our students moved to 4th grade. Then a measure that is not in place yet, but they're still building it, is college, career, workforce, and military readiness. For the components that they have identified, we had 23.5%. They have not identified all of those, and they're kind of adding those and then showing us how well we are performing in that. And part of that is knowing what the target is and how that information is being gathered. So I'm sure that as that is completed, that we'll have a little more information and be able to make a little more progress. So the areas that I wanted to highlight, gap closing and progress, we had 5 stars and 4 stars. Both of these areas show the growth of students are making based on their past performance. And we're making progress, again, in closing those gaps between all of our student subgroups as a district. The recovery from the effects of COVID will take time, and it will take focus, and I think that we have that exhibited in all of our buildings. The achievement and graduation components, where we scored 3 stars, we have some supports in place already. In K-8, we've added literacy and math coaches to support the quality of instruction in all of our classrooms. K through 12, we have special education coaches and a gifted coordinator that work with staffs and students to improve differentiation and enrichment. We added a new universal screener to measure student achievement and growth. And we aligned our K-8 math program with a new common math adoption. This year, the universal screener was also implemented at the high school. So all of those measures will continue to help us guide our path as we continue to improve with our students in those areas. In early literacy, again, the area that we had 2 stars, some things that we've already implemented. We've added our success literacy intervention support teachers in K-3, and they are focusing on the reading foundations of phonological awareness and phonics. We've aligned our success program and our Title I with a common evidence-based phonics intervention program. We are using the universal screener, and we place students in an adaptive personalized learning program called MyPath. So in addition to the supports that teachers provide, students also have an online platform that they can use any time of day or night, and it will pick up exactly where they need to learn and move them forward based on the standards for their grade level. Additional supports are our literacy and our special education coaches, which support our teacher with curriculum and data and instructional innovations. Our professional development that is focused on early literacy, we had a group of 78 teachers that started LETTERS training, and it looks like it's misspelled, but that's an acronym. And that's training for elementary teachers in the foundations of reading, the science of reading. And it is a year, well, it's actually a 2-year program. This year, they will be working on the first half, which is units 1 through 4. And the format is a full day professional development. And then they have online lessons they complete as well as online assessments. And then each unit, they apply the skills that they learn in their classroom. So as we make changes in literacy, teachers are learning every few months a new skill set to enhance their instruction. We've also completed a book study, Shifting the Balance, and that most of our elementary teachers, it was voluntary, but we had to place 5 reorders of books because we had so many teachers that were interested. And this book focused on balanced literacy, which is what we have used as our instructional program, and the science of reading and how to make that shift. So we've had terrific support and interest from our teachers. And then this year we will also reinstate our data meetings at each building, which we have done in the past. So one of our big areas of focus will be on attendance. And we know that attendance work, it helps advance our student success. We will have our staff work both at the district leadership level, the building leadership level, and then within the data teams in the building to analyze all components of the report card. And I think we're starting with attendance with a meeting that Mr. Lawley is leading tomorrow morning with all of the stakeholders that share in the reporting and collection of attendance. And that is a brief overview of our district report card. Do you have any questions? I'll be going a little more in depth a little later.
I'm good, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Brackenhoff. Next up is a financial update. School Treasurer Kevin Philo.
So I know you thought last month that you saw everything and I was done. I'm never done when it comes to numbers. So last month as we went over cost, tonight we went over achievement. So achievement divided by cost equals value. So tonight we're going to talk about value. So I am pulling up one chart from last month, just one, that's it. Was the per pupil expenditures for fiscal year 21. As you heard Dr. Brackenhoff talk, we were at 298 out of 607, which is above average. So our costs last year in 21 was $12,190. That included the donation of the land and everything. The state average was 10% higher than us in terms of, yet we had above average achievement. So when we talk about value, if we'd factor out the donation money, roughly the state average is 18% higher than what we spend, yet we had above average results. We also had higher results than Mad River, West Carrollton, and Huber Heights. Mad River spends 17% more than us. West Carrollton spends 15% more than us, and Huber Heights spends 7% more than us. So when we talk about value, I look at achievement divided by cost equals our value. And one thing we've stressed is Fairborn Schools is a good value. So just wanted to revisit that, and won't go through all the other slides with you. So any questions? Thank you.
Next, the facility update from Mr. Patrick. You know, in the primary and intermediate, there for a long time, I was given a countdown how many months we would be in those buildings. With the high school, if I did my math right, we're 22 months out.
Wow.
I'll go ahead and try to keep this short also. Let me start with what I'm getting right now. I guess we have a 50 horsepower motor on the rooftop here that is no longer functioning. And it controls, looks like it's controlling the commons, the gym area, and the athletic hallway along with the 300 hallway. So it looks like we'll have to get a crane in here and replace that motor. We believe we can take care of homecoming this weekend with the outside air handlers and try to use some extra outside air to try to keep that cool. But we're still working on that. I just got that text, so we'll see how that goes. So demo at the 5 Points building was going really well until yesterday. Had a little hiccup yesterday where we had a little visit from the city, and we found out that the contractor, there was one permit that the contractor didn't complete. So we have been asked to stop proceeding until that permit has been issued. So we'll get that wrapped up and hopefully fixed, and that can continue and so forth. At the intermediate school, we continue to work on punch list. We have several split units that have bad boards in them. We have 6 split units in that building. 5 of the 6 split units have bad boards, which means they're not cooling certain areas. Those areas might be like IT closets or so forth. So we're being told that the board should be delivered in November. We'll see how that goes. So we're still working on that one. We also have one major concern with we have high traffic areas out in front of the restrooms where those walls are already showing dirt and grime and so forth from kids leaning up against them and so forth. So we're trying to come up with a solution for that. Clear coat, something that we can maintain and hopefully make it look a little bit nicer than it currently does, because it does look pretty rough in front of those restroom areas. As we talked about earlier at the new Fairborn High School, as you drive past daily, you're going to see some type of change. It's unbelievable how much they're doing day to day. They continue to work on making sure that the academic wing is dried in for winter so that the subcontractors continue to do some work during the cold weather. And one of their other big goals is to have 85% of the roof ducting in place before winter gets here. So a lot of the work that you see is trying to get the building prepared for winter. We are being told that winter is going to be cold and really snowy, so we'll see how that goes, but hopefully we're prepared for that. So at this point in time, I'll take questions, and we'll talk a little bit more in work session.
I'm good. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll go ahead and move on to budget and finance. So the next, could I get a motion for the approval of the monthly financial report?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions before we take a vote? Any questions or comments? Any thoughts? Okay, Mr. Filo?
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Mr. Browning.
Yes, motion carries. Next, we go to administrative reports and superintendent recommendations. That goes all the way to the bottom of page 12. So let's go ahead and have a motion, then we can have any discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Pat, do you want to comment
Yeah,
on
I
page?
would direct everyone to page 8, item number 16, to approve resignations and retirements certified. Just like to point out, I think that's Jill Kloimweeder, K-3 Success and Literacy, FIS effective May 30, 2023, for the purpose of retirement. Request resolution of tribute for 30 years of service, all with the Fairborn City Schools. Obviously, in this world today, you don't see that very often when someone sticks around for that long. But we're going to miss her, and we appreciate everything she does for us.
Okay. Any other thoughts or comments on anything in this section before a vote? Okay, Mr. Filo?
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Next, we go to gifts and donations. Wendy?
All right, thank you. The Fairborn City School Board of Education would like to gratefully acknowledge the following gifts and donations. We have an anonymous donor of $2,000 for Fairborn Intermediate School PTO for the music program. Byron Church for hygiene supplies for homeless students. Audrey Ernst, food and supply donation for the Hawk Pantry. Fair Creek Church, $1,000 purchase of school clothes and supplies for our homeless students. First Presbyterian Church, food donation for the Hawks Pantry. Deb Holcomb, some clothes and supplies for homeless students. Steve Ross, $25 for Turf Field Fund. And the Transportation Department, they donated backpacks. So again, thank you for all the gifts and donations and everything that you guys do for our students. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Wendy. And before we go, Tim,
Yeah,
do you want to
I
comment?
just noticed something on our agenda tonight, and it's, I think, a critical piece of information that we need to look at, and that is we have voted tonight to decrease pay-to-play participation fee by 50% across the board. So they will go from, if it's 150, it'll be 75, and so on. So we're trying our very best to help our students and encourage them to participate in our activities at the school. Thank you.
Next, we go to work session, Mr. Filo?
We're going to go to executive session first and then
Okay.
work session.
Okay.
So if it please the board, if we go into executive session for the specified purpose of the appointment, employment, discipline, or the investigation of charges against the public employee. If I could have a motion?
Stand with motion?
So moved.
Second?
Go ahead, Mr. Fowler.
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Ms. Landon.
Yes.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes.
We
Motion carries.
We anticipate executive session. To come out of executive session, we'll probably then have a work session with no other further action items anticipated, but adjournment after that. I think we can meet in executive session in here. If
Here.
anybody wants to stay, they're welcome to stay in the halls, and we'll call you in when we're done.